Monday, everyone. It's Monday again. Whoa, what a week that was.
I've had a week so far, just this morning.
Just this morning, yes.
I don't know. I think I don't know. I think my clone needs to get cloned now.
All right, let's see who's here so I'll get cards written down.
Apologies for being a few seconds late. We've had one of those mornings.
All right, who we got there?
Goodness, there's a ton of
Sean,
peeps.
Gilda.
All right, so we don't forget anybody, because we forgot some people last time. If you're here, we don't know you're here unless you go, hello,
Anna,
we're here.
Savannah.
Do you know what? We didn't turn any friggin' lights on. Nobody can see anything. Hold on a minute.
I think they can.
No, they can't. Just a minute while I make it lighter.
He likes to blind me with the lights.
Just a minute.
All right, I've got Sean, Gilda, Cass, Anna, Savannah, and Helena.
This is where it gets interesting.
And now he's going to blind us with the light.
Well, it's so you can see, because all we've got is our...
Can't you see us? Witches don't like bright light. I don't know what you're all about, Mr. Leo.
Shut up.
Look at me, look at me, look at me. Well, happy December.
It is,
I
isn't it?
just think it's been, see?
There you go. Now you can see us. Hello, out there in Viewland.
They can see us, but I can't see.
You don't need to see them.
Oh my God.
You can't see them anyway. Wouldn't it be fun if everybody just appeared on the screen?
Hi, Donna.
It's like, hi, Donna. Goodness. How you doing? Oh, welcome.
Oh, wow. Of course, I've lost my pen now. I don't know. Life has just been very entertaining.
And I think I got a bit of glitter in my eye.
Yeah,
I was trying to fix the lights at we put our
It took him 3 days to
up.
replace all the bulbs in the sleigh so he could put out the Christmas lights.
I wasn't expecting just about half of them to be blown, and they were. And they're LEDs. They're not supposed to blow, but something must have overloaded and taken them out. So whatever. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Right.
Gosh. Anyway, where are we now? We sang hello to everybody.
I said hello to everybody and wrote them all down so they can all have a card later.
Well, I suppose you better start telling everybody what's going on astrologically.
Okay.
Because we haven't got a bloody clue anymore.
I know that people are probably feeling it.
I know I am.
Well, I'm going to say this now, and then I'm going to say it again later, and then we're going to send an email. But I want everybody to know that we're going to have a special evening shop for our Karma Points customers.
It's awesome.
And it's going to be Saturday night, the 9th, from 6 to 8 p.m.
Ooh, you get 2 hours to yourselves.
You get 2 hours to come in, just Karma Points customers. There'll be special sales just for you guys. We might have some refreshments, cookies, and things like that.
Yum.
We're going to do a 50-50 raffle for the church.
Should we get the tombola?
Absolutely. Of course we're going to get the tombola out.
The Magickal tombola.
Well, the tombola has tickets where you can win. The least amount you would win is $5.
You're guaranteed $5.
You spin and you get $5.
You're guaranteed. It costs you nothing. It's just for you get one turn.
Yeah, you get one turn. Everybody gets one Karma Points ticket that night. And the most you can win is $200. And several times when we've done this, we've had a person win the $200, which is wonderful.
Suddenly your holiday shopping got easier.
Suddenly your holiday shopping got easier. All right, so again, that's Saturday night, the 9th. So this coming Saturday, believe it or not.
God, yeah. I'll get an email out today at some point when I get myself cloned. Anyway, astrologically, wasn't last week a bitch? For those of you that know or don't know, I wear another hat, one of my many hats. I'm chair of Newport's Public Access Committee, and we got into it with the mayor. Quite publicly at a meeting, 11:29.
I don't think you need to air your dirty laundry.
I'm not airing my dirty laundry.
He wants people to go watch and see how he was treated, I think, is the thing.
No, I think I held my ground. But
you did.
I think,
it's just unreal. But anyway.
All I can say is politicians.
I don't want that negative energy in my
go.
podcast.
No. But I just want to say, she warned me. She said, and she actually put a pentacle on me before I went and all that. She said, it's going to be difficult.
This is not
astrologically,
a good
it's
night.
difficult. And, it was difficult.
All right.
Anyway.
So I imagine that people who are aware feel different things in the air, right? So what I want to say, and some of you might have already heard this, but I want to say this because a lot of people poo-poo astrology, right?
It's all a bunch of tree-hugging hippie crap,
and they
right?
say, I don't care what the moon is doing or where Uranus is, blah, 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 They get all huffity puffity. But what I want people to understand is it's called a forecast for a reason, right? It is foretelling what's happening. It's saying, these are your opportunities, these are your issues, right? So if you think of how we use the word forecast in Muggle life, it's related to the weather forecast, right? So if you listen to the weather in the morning and the guy said, all right, there's going to be a flash flood on such and such road, starting at noon, it may be impassable. You might want to pick an alternate route, or if you have to go outside to take your dog for a walk, it's going to be chucking it down rain. You probably want your raincoat, umbrella, and galoshes. If we learned that information, we would probably act accordingly, unless we didn't care if we got soaked, or we didn't care if we got stuck in a flash flood, right? So astrology is the same sort of thing. You can heed it, prepare, and make alternative plans, or harness the good energy, right? Like if I have to be to work at a certain time, and I could either go on that road that's going to be closed for flash flooding and I'm going to miss my opportunity, or I could leave early and I can go around the back way and I can get there and I won't miss my opportunity.
There you go.
So when we look at astrology forecasts, it's that kind of thing. Are we going to assess the situation and put our, rain boots on? Or are we just going to wade with bare feet? Who cares? I don't care if my pants get wet, So that's why I bother doing this, because I want people to go, oh, I'm not crazy. I really am kind of feeling this way. And this is why. This is what the astrological weather forecast is.
Am I allowed a little interjection here?
Sure, absolutely.
Just a tiny one. So the people, and I love this because there's so many people come to us, and in fact, the Reverend Mother Margot was one of them, wasn't she? Who learned astrology specifically to disprove it.
Yeah, she said she wanted to poo-poo it.
Yeah, and
the more she learned, the more she was like.
Here's the thing: there is no scientific proof per se that it's causal. Yeah, so correlation doesn't mean causation. I get that. But we know something called empirical evidence. And I have to tell you, weather forecasting works in exactly the same way.
This is what happened before
exactly
when
the
this
same
happened.
Way.
Yeah.
When we saw this depression coming up here and we saw this flow here and the two hit together, we knew that was going to be a particularly bad area of precipitation or really strong winds or whatever. And so we built up the knowledge of empirical evidence. And now with advanced weather forecasting and monitoring stations all over the place, seldom do weather events, although they do sometimes, they do sometimes catch people by surprise, but seldom does it catch us by surprise, because we now realise, and we accept that meteorology is a science, and meteorology is just looking at the weather, what's going on, what energies are at play, what jet streams are going, what depressions are here, what anticyclones are here, etc., 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 and how it all interacts. And from that, you can get a forecast. Now, forecasters, we say they're not fortune tellers. They get it wrong a lot because it's not an exact science. There are so many variables at play that things can change unexpectedly. So it becomes
absolutely
nowcasting rather than forecasting.
Well, this is because of individual people's vibrations.
Yes.
And how people react or respond, right? Like I'm saying, if you hear the forecast and you should prepare in a certain way.
Yep.
If you are of a enlightened higher vibration, you're going to figure out an alternative way so you still have success. Just like if the doctor gives you a horrible diagnosis, some people just lie down and die, and other people think, okay, how best can I care for myself and restore my health? Right? So, it's, I know they're all very different things, but there's still a foretelling that isn't necessarily etched in stone determination. I've told the story, I don't know how many times, about my dad, where he was pretty much circling the drain, and they said, oh, man, 4 months, assemble your family, and he lived 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
But it's how the person intakes the information and how they respond or react to that information.
Yeah,
right?
well, when it comes to healing, I mean, any kind of medicine does, any kind, be it conventional, complementary, whatever, all it does is ideally promote the optimal conditions for healing to occur.
Or mask symptoms.
And, well, yeah, okay. Analgesics mask symptoms. They take away pain. They don't fix the problem, yeah, so to speak. But yeah, anyway, so, yeah, so whilst there is no scientific proof, because
the moon affects the tides.
Well, yeah, we can say that definitely. But gravity is only a theory. That's not seriously. If you really want to get into deep physics, gravity is still only a theory. But yeah, it's
well, I just
there's enough empirical evidence that has been collected over millennia.
We are living in such interesting times astrologically.
Aren't we?
And I don't want to repeat everything I've already said, but if you go back and find January's podcast, I talked a lot about the age of Aquarius and this coming shift then.
It was almost a year ago.
I know,
Almost
but
a year.
I don't want to repeat myself. But I thought today I'd say that some of us might have noticed that we are dancing as fast as we can and not really feeling like we're accomplishing things. And a lot of this has to do with the most of this year, from March forward, the great benefactor, the great benefic planet, the giver of luck and joy and opportunity, Jupiter has been retrograde. So although it's not going to necessarily harm you, it's not really able to help you move forward in the same way that it would be if it was direct. Sorry. I misspoke. It has been retrograde since September. I apologize. So we may have felt it July, August, things slowing down. And then retrograde since September. I apologize. And we'll feel the benefit of Jupiter this coming March. I wrote March and I realized I glanced at the wrong thing, so I apologize. All right. So Jupiter, the great benefactor, has been retrograde for months, slowing opportunities, slowing our luck, that kind of thing. And it is going to go direct, and we'll feel the benefits of that in March. Now, the big hoo and ha that I talked about in Taroscopes, the beginning of...
They're posted if you haven't checked them out yet.
Yeah. Is
Check out
the Mercury retrograde.
Oh no.
Now,
run and hide.
It's very interesting because it is actually only retrograde for about 30 days, 3 times a year.
I know, though.
However, we feel the effects of it a week or so before, and again we feel the effects, even though it's direct, until it gets back to where it was when it started to go retrograde.
When it comes back through its shadow, is it? Is that what they call that?
Yeah, it's shadow, yeah. So, to kind of understand this, let's look at the planets as giant vessels that are traveling, right? Like giant cruise ships, right? Giant ships.
It's a huge cruise ship.
That are traveling. And if a big vessel like that has to change direction, it's not an instant process, right? It's not like there's a helm at either end and it just goes, oop, all right, let me run across the ship and I'll go the other way. It has to slow its engine down, right? And then it has to make that big turn to go the other way. And then when it goes direct, same thing. It doesn't just run across the ship and go back that way. It has to slow down and almost become stationed, right? And then turn around and go back the other way. So this is kind of like a layman's explanation, if you will, as to why we feel the effects of a retrograde prior, and we don't just jump out of it into direct motion.
When does Mercury go retrograde? She's looking. She's got
I have it all
notes.
here. Mercury goes retrograde on the 11th.
Oh.
Right? Just the day before the new moon. So Mercury's going to go retrograde on the dark moon.
Do you know, because it's...
Hide under a rock. No.
No.
But definitely take your galoshes.
It's just really funny that you say that, because for me, empirically, looking at evidence in my own life, I always find the week before a Mercury retrograde, things get annoying. They start going pear-shaped. Things don't work right. And we've had, just this run-up. We had I had to restart some of the computers at work. They were just plain misbehaving.
Square had a miscommunication with Chase Bank, and people's credit cards are being declined on Black Friday.
Just had to restart our mail server this morning, just before we came, which is one of the reasons I was late. I had to switch a couple of things
around. The register
around
was screwed up for a few days. Like, you
weird
pushed a number, and it highlighted the number, but it didn't put it in the window. So you think you hadn't pushed hard enough, and you pushed again, and then it put like 3 of them up there. It was just ridiculous.
There was a lot of latency. There was a lot of, as you say, slowing down. And that really does appear to be what happened. It's almost like the electrons got stuck in mud. And it's sort of...
Right. So what I'm trying to say is...
Don't be a fruit reboot.
This month, everybody may feel quite frustrated or need extra time to complete a task.
Right.
Right? So if you're planning like 1 day to wrap your gifts, you might want to plan 2.
If you're planning on putting your holiday decorations out, you might want to plan 3 days to repair them.
Exactly what I'm saying, And if you could possibly make your more larger or technical purchases prior to the 11th, it would be a great idea.
Yes.
Like if you're buying a cell phone, a computer, a car, whatever you're doing.
Oh dear.
Yeah, those are all...
Batteries not included.
Yeah, okay. All right. So Mercury's going to go retrograde on the 11th, but we could already feel that as early as the 24th of November.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Oh,
we started to feel this as early as the 24th of November.
This is when it starts slowing up, so to speak. Right.
And it really kind of on December 2nd when it got to 8 degrees Capricorn. Then it's going to go retrograde the day before the new moon. So Mercury retrograde on the dark moon. You want to banish something?
It's a good time.
Great time. Okay. Banish debt, illness, whatever you want to get rid of. And then, even though it's going to go direct, we won't feel the effects of it going direct until it's back to where it was when it went retrograde. So we're not going to feel like we're out of the woods with it.
Probably until January?
Until January 21st.
Oh, my.
So you see, where we say it's only retrograde for 30 days, we really feel the effects of it for 60 days, right? We feel it for 2 weeks before, 2 weeks after. And what's going to be really interesting, though, is time is going to start to really accelerate.
You're kidding? I can't do anything faster.
Okay. Because the sun will move from Capricorn into Aquarius.
Oh, well.
Right? And Mercury's interesting. It retrogrades elementally each year. So this year we had Mercury retrogrades in Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And this next coming year, the Mercury retrogrades are Aries, Leo, and Sag.
All right, so we got all the fire signs then, eh?
Yeah. But I really think that the beginning of the year, we're going to kind of feel like we're shot out of a cannon.
No!
And then
Where's
we're
my crash helmet?
also in China. I always talk about Chinese astrology, and of course I'll talk more about this when we get closer to the change of the year.
We shift element, don't we now?
Right.
Chinese element.
But we're in this calm year, which some people could perceive as slow, but we've had this calm year of the water rabbit. And we are going to be moving into the wood dragon.
Hello, Anne-Marie. Florida, hot and sunny. Good for you.
Okay. All right. So we're going to be moving into the wood dragon. And I want you to think about, happy Monday, Wendy. Think
Hello,
about
Wendy.
the difference between those energies, right? We might perceive wood as either fire or air, depending on, how you look at things, right?
Hello, Geraldine.
I wrote her down.
Okay.
So wood, again, is more of this move, burn, shift, go, where water and earth are more still. So we're really moving into
wood dragon.
Yeah, wood dragon. We're really moving into a very analytical, intellectual, learn it and learn it quick in 2024. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is Pluto. And you might want to look in your chart to if you know your chart, to see where Capricorn and Aquarius are. And you could look at the last several years to see what Pluto has been doing while it's in Capricorn. Some people have really had some challenges. I know mine is Pluto has been in my house of health for a very long time. Not very pleasant. And Pluto is going to move into Aquarius and stay there for 25 years. It's going to retrograde back a little bit in June, back into Capricorn. But then once it goes direct in Aquarius after that, it's going to be there for 25 years. So basically, I'm going to be hosting Pluto in Aquarius for the next 25 years.
Just use it for good.
Use it for good.
Use it for
because
good.
it's the destroyer, but it's also the recreator, right? It doesn't just burn something down and leave the ashes. It says, what's going to rise from these ashes? What are you going to build from what we took away? What no longer serves you, and how can you make it better, right? So again, you can harness the energy. You can
rebuild it.
Make
it better.
Heed the call and go with the flow. And again, just think about it. If it says the weather's going to be 104 degrees, you're not going to wear a coat. If it says the weather's going to be below 0, you probably want to wear a coat. So all you do in astrology is look so you can be prepared and make the most of it to continue to stay comfortable.
It's funny. It's one of the things that when we do the little teaser of astrology in the Craft of the Wise course, we went to a great course yesterday. We had our Craft of the Wise course.
Oh, we did Welsh mythology yesterday.
Loved that one. Loved it. So, there's no such thing as a catastrophe. A catastrophe is where the stars just are set wrong. That's where it literally means that the stars are malaligned or maligned or whatever you want to call it. Not lined up right. You've got an awkward astrological aspect. But you just change the work that you're doing to fit the available energies. And yes, if something's trying to rip something out, use it to get rid of something that doesn't serve you.
Right.
It's ideal, isn't it?
Also, we're coming for that next tick on the clock, right? We're from 1960 to 2020 was that last second, and now we're into the age of Aquarius, and the next 60 years are that truly coming into the age of Aquarius. Again, think about the ship, right? It doesn't just go shh. It goes, oh, let me check. Oh, and then we move on. So now at December 2020, I think that was the last tick, and we're into the age of Aquarius. Innovative, AI, air travel, higher thinking. There's going to be
There's still a big old fight going on where the old guard doesn't want to let go, does
Well,
it?
we're
You know,
in
it's just...
that place. This push me, pull me. But I think that, I'm not going to live another 60 years, but I would love to see what's going to happen by the 2080, because I really feel that Aquarius is going to affect humanity in very positive ways. I'm not saying that everybody's going to become a socialist, but I think people are going to be able to think on a broader scale and understand cause and effect. And, you think the world shrunk when Pluto was in Sag and the internet was going crazy. Now you watch what happens with Pluto in Aquarius, But not only that, all of the generational planets, the outer planets, are switching from earth and water into fire and air.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So things are going to move. They're going to move quickly, and you're going to have to be able to absorb and work with that intelligence. And, you're either going to get on the boat or you're going to be left.
Yeah, and remember, no plan survives contact with the enemy, so you're probably going to have to adjust your plans as you go. But that's okay too. That's what we do. We test and adjust,
And the other big shift, of course, was Saturn left Aquarius and has moved into Pisces. So now this one planet that says lessons, listening, karma, that kind of thing, is now in Pisces. The dreamer, the creator, the sacrificer, the self-undoer, and the martyr. So where is that happening in your chart? Mine is 8th house, my house of the occult. So that's quite interesting.
Some interesting things may be uncovered.
Well, Saturn's going to go over... anyway, never mind. It's too personal. I have my forecast and I am prepared.
Splendid.
And for those of you who live locally, I'm starting astrology training again in February. This time it's going to be on Thursday nights weekly for 12 weeks. Mm-hmm. So if you live locally, it comes with textbooks and an ephemeris. And even if you don't know what your own sign is in the beginning, you'll learn that. And by the end, you'll know how to write a horoscope. But I'm not Zooming anymore.
It's too tricky. It's just...
I would either have to do just Zoom or just in person. I can't...
The hybrid thing just doesn't work. We've found not it was a means to an end. It was it
not
fulfilled
complaining. It helped
need
us
at the time.
Stay,
but
current.
But it's much better if you can
focus,
be there and focus and all that sort of stuff. So if you haven't chimed in and said hello, I love the smell of that. By the way, it's Make It So, isn't it?
It's Make It So.
Make It So. Yes. And speaking of candles, we've been busy. We've been making them, and Mrs. B came up with a wonderful formulary which we made.
Oh, wood dragon.
Wood dragon.
It's beautiful.
They
But
look gorgeous.
Got to get on the candle club if you want to have that.
So there you go. If you're not a member of our candle club, you maybe want to think about it. It's worth it for that candle.
He made gifts of the Magi.
Yeah.
And Yule, Albanarthan, gold, frankincense, myrrh. We got all the holiday stuff, and I think we even have a couple of Krampus candles, but we didn't make those.
Oh, hello there. We have a new person, Jonathan Running Wolf. Welcome to our channel.
I've seen him before a long time ago.
Long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Alrighty,
well, welcome to Magical Monday. Thank you for joining us. All right, who we got first?
Sean is first. I'll pick his card first. It has to be a sword or a wand. Actually, no, I think he's going to get a major arcana today. Whoop. Oh, no.
No, he's got pentacles. I like this one.
All right. You are going to see some real increase in your self-employed business thing going on here. Again, I want you to give yourself extra time to fulfill deadlines and things. You know, if normally you think, it only takes me a couple hours to pack all that up.
It ain't.
Give yourself double that time. Because everything is just like the ship is slowing down,
Your printer may just decide
whatever.
not to play.
Right,
or
because
something.
it's Mercury. The Mercury ship is slowing down to turn around. So get it done, or understand it might take you longer to get it done, but I see you, taking ownership of it and responsibility and dealing with it. So
Good card, this.
I love that card.
I love this card because this is the one that started it all for us with our own tarot deck. Interestingly enough, so it's
seated on a bench, indicting. What?
well, it is. It is.
Yeah.
You're. There's nothing wrong with your work ethic, fella. I will say that. So yeah, if you're prepared to knuckle down and give it large here, and particularly build up a bit of a reserve. You know what I'm saying here?
Sorry,
A bit of a
trying to not
reserve.
sneeze.
Don't just. You might think, well, I'm okay if I make 2 or 3 of them, that'll be fine. No, make 3 or 4 or 5 of them. You know
Because
what I'm
one's going to
saying?
get broken.
Or you will woefully underestimate demand or something like that.
I just think these next few weeks are going to be nuts.
Yeah. So but you got this. You've got it. You just try to keep calm and keep focused. Keep yourself task oriented, and you will be all right. Oriented. I don't know. Hello, Sean. He's joined us also. Welcome. We got now 2 Seans. So
Oh, right.
it's another Sean. There you go. That's me. I'll put that over there. And now we have
Gilda.
Gilda.
Oh, I picked it.
Oh, it's okay. You start. Go on.
Okay.
Go on. Go for it.
All right, Gilda. I want you to look up the sphere called Binah, Binah, on the Tree of Life.
Satin, anybody?
And just do a little research and thinking with what you learn from, just Google the sphere of Binah and see what you get. And I think that it will really put you in tune with what you need to know.
Yeah, I'm going to go. There's so much in this card. I don't want to bore everybody to death with what's in the back of shot on this, but it is for you for perhaps now piercing the veil and definitely growing dramatically on a spiritual level. More so than, I know stuff is always sort of, you just have to deal with stuff, What is it they say? Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. But I do think you're in a period of intense personal growth and reflection and recognizing things. Things are going to start jumping out at you that you've sort of been vaguely aware of, but not really paid attention to.
The ancient ruler of Aquarius is Saturn, and Gilda's Aquarius like me. So.
Well, there you go. So you become one of the dangerous ones. Think, haha.
Learn and
think.
That's what the rest of these 3 weeks really. It would be wonderful if we didn't have to deal with the hustle and bustle and crazy of the holidays,
Cashmas.
because I think everybody really wants to go within and commune with this dark time that we're having the next few weeks till the sun returns. But we're all being kind of pushed crazy. All right.
It's interesting also in the way that we're feeling this slowing up with the Mercury. Also understand that as we approach the solstice, so the sun slows up until it gets to that solstice, solstation.
Right? But I think a good way to think of it, if you're not really an astrologer, if you've ever watched an ocean liner change direction. That's kind of what's happening.
It doesn't do it in a hell of a hurry.
There are these giant vessels traveling in space,
Well, let's see. Well, the planets in space.
I know what you're saying. All right, this is for Cass.
You're just going first all the time now. This is good.
You said I could, so
there you go. Works for me.
Cass, I think the next few weeks are going to be absolutely wonderful for you. I feel like you've made some really good plans, and you're going to give yourself enough time to meet those deadlines for those plans and really, really enjoy the new year. I feel like there's something really, really wonderful that you're looking forward to for 2024, and I think your plans are good.
I love this card. This is the one where we've got so much as yet untapped potential, and this realization of a can-do attitude in you. You know what you thought was previously blocked, what you thought was no, that's beyond me. I can't do that. I can't. I can't. You're now gone over to, bloody hell, I can, and I will. And I will, and watch me. it's the thing, isn't it? It's not just. Oh, I ought to. It's what. I think I can. You know what? I can. Watch me. Look, because this really is somebody coming into their own here, and I think it's a good time for you. So relish it.
All right.
Yes.
Anna's up next. Victory. So Anna, I see this as some really good news, or something that you feel that you've been like a little bit of a warrior or a spiritual warrior with, that you're kind of holding that integrity, holding your ground, and coming back to center as someone who feels like they've won the battle. So this is the card that if we had to have one word for it, it would be victory. It does remind me quite a bit of the knights, because the guy's riding a horse, which are all usually messengers of some sort. But I think that this is a really good message of good news.
Yeah, I would concur that this is definitively a very, very positive card. There's now to dislike with this. So, yeah, chill and relish the victory. I would strongly suggest relish it. It's all good.
All right, Savannah.
Savannah says she's PTing, so she's in and out, but she's listening. So
what is PT?
PT, physical therapy.
Oh, right.
She's
Okay. Well, she can always go back and listen. Oh, Savannah.
Oh, Savannah.
King of Wands. I always pause for a second if I'm not 100% sure what I'm getting. And I think this is saying, sometimes people who speak with authority don't necessarily have all the details. So even though you may come upon someone who has good intentions and who's trying to help you, I think that it might be time, because of Mercury retrograde and communication being a little bit off, to really not just take their word for authority over something. Even if what they tell you is something that has worked for you in the past, you might want to just do a little checking and see if it's something you want to reapply.
Yeah, or as my grandfather would say, love many, trust few, and always paddle your own canoe. So yeah, there is an awful lot of information, disinformation. Some is well-intentioned, some is not so much. And in fact, it doesn't matter how much you shout a lie and with how much conviction that lie is shouted, it's still a lie. So I think for you, discernment is key here. This is very much about, think about how you're thinking about things. I know that's kind of tricky to think about, but think about, is your thought process serving you well here? Or are you perhaps being unrealistic in your thinking and wanting to perhaps take a shortcut where really a shortcut doesn't exist?
We all have to go about everything the long way these next few weeks.
so yeah, because I'm not saying become overly staid and pragmatic, but I do think a little pwych, as they would say in Welsh, would suit you
Caution.
well. Yeah, prudence, and a deeper understanding, digging deep, and remember.
Right, I don't feel somebody means her harm.
Right,
but they
right.
just aren't necessarily the authority.
That they seem to think they are, and I'm sure they're speaking with a great deal of sincerity, but they can be sincerely wrong. You know what I'm saying? So a little bit of discernment there would be useful for you. Prudence,
right.
Caution, etc., etc.
Helena.
Hello, Helena.
Ooh, this is a Saturn card.
It is the Saturn card.
Yeah. So maybe that's a message to really look in your chart and see where Saturn is. It's moving out of Aquarius into Pisces. So you have those few degrees, like 28, 29 degrees Aquarius, 1, 2, 3 degrees Pisces. See where it's at, what it's hitting, what it's lighting up.
Lighting up would be the right word here.
What's happening with you. And again, I know she's also Aquarius, so we've had Saturn womping us for like 3 years now. So we're kind of letting that go, but we're also now about to host Pluto, which is a whole nother story. But I feel like you learned so much. You've learned so much, and now you're going to be able to use that which you have learned.
Helena says, oh, I don't know my chart. Well, oddly enough, Lisa has this course. You might contemplate it.
But she can't do two things at once.
I don't
She's
know. You
on
can
craft
walk.
of the wise.
She's smart. She can walk and chew gum.
But it's a lot.
So I love this, and this is like again, I have been learning so much, or discovering, or unlocking, or remembering, putting the pieces back together. Remembering. It's interesting that every reference to the devil or Satan. I mean, Satan is a derivation of Saturn, because
this is Uriel, though.
But this is also, look, with the old, live long and prosper malarkey here. This is the lightning flash
really.
coming
Uriel,
down.
God's light.
This is force coming into form, quite literally. We are the spark, that animus that comes into, and we inherit a meat carcass for a while, and so we have to figure that all out. And we are, once we're born, it's like trying to figure everything out. We come from this universal consciousness, and then all of a sudden we're here by ourselves, and we're the center of our own universe, and we're trying to figure it out with this tiny little flashlight through the crack in the wall of the warehouse, and the batteries are half done,
Oh my God.
It's tricky. But there is much that you actually...
You can fill in.
Yeah, you can fill in a lot of blanks, and there's much you can feel, because feeling is so important here. So really, I think you're going through another. It's almost like a renaissance for you. I want to say it's almost like a revitalization. That's the word I was looking for. You are becoming revitalized. You've got that zoom.
Well, Saturn's gotten off your sun.
But this is really cool stuff, though. This, I think things are going to start lighting up around you, and you're going to see things with new light through old windows. Kind of
You
thing.
see, Rhonda and I share the same birthday, so I know she has the same degree Aquarius as me.
I'll just shut up then, because obviously, what I'm saying doesn't matter. I love this. That's what I've been working on, remembering. I've done a lot of learning. Wow,
Misty, I know you're late, but I got you on the list. Don't worry. All right, this is Anne Marie's card. Boop, 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 boop,
Not really late, just joining at a different time.
Well, you can go back and watch. Anne Marie wishes. This is wishes coming true.
I like this card.
I think don't worry about where you are necessarily. You can still make a difference. I don't know why that's important. I think sometimes we're a little hard on ourselves with our assessment of self, and we think, how did I get here, and what, blah, blah, blah. But where you're living or where you are internally doesn't really make it so you can't make things happen the way you want.
Stop waiting for the other shoe to drop as well. Eschew the conditioning that says, oh, be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. Why the chuff are you wishing for it if you don't want it? There doesn't have to be this automatic, oh, thou shalt suffer if thou wishes for things. That's a repressive and negative thought. Wishes do come true so long as you have wishes. And
positive energy and positive planning are so important right now, especially.
Do not self-sabotage here, if you see something good happening, embrace it, love it. Throw yourself into it and live life to the fullest. Enjoy it. Do not let somebody come along and pee on your bonfire, or pee on your own bonfire, which we all have this tendency to do. Oh, it's my lot in life. I'm not supposed to be happy. Why not? Why not?
Yay, yesterday.
So, totally. All right, so there you have it. The wish card.
All right, Geraldine is up next.
Geraldine. How you doing, Geraldine?
She is making all kinds of choices and decisions.
Oh,
all right. Don't get frustrated. We are all in the same storm, right? We all might be in a different boat, as they say, but we're all in the same storm. And just know, Geraldine, that things are a little frustrating right now. And it might take you longer to make your choice and decision, or you might make a decision and change your mind later. It's okay. Being a Virgo, it's hard to stop yourself from overthinking. So maybe you want to write some things down, right? Pros and cons about things, or where your heart really feels it wants to go, you know? And reassess as you move. Don't feel like you have to make a decision and you're stuck with it. If more information comes in, fills the other side a little more, you can always move over to that. But I just feel like there's so much on your plate. Take a break. Give yourself a break.
Very droll, Helena. Very droll.
Logistically speaking...
Peeing on a bonfire sounds painful. Well, it might be.
Oh, dear.
Geraldine.
Yes, it is positive energy, Geraldine.
It is. I would say...
the power of positive thinking.
You know, not everything is as it appears, nor is it necessarily otherwise. but you know, sometimes it's okay to take a long, hard look at something. It is okay to do that. It's not a race here. The only pressure that you're feeling is the pressure that you're applying on yourself. So if you ease up on that pressure on yourself and take your time to ponder a little, ponder and really consider, I think you'll find making your decisions a lot easier. Sometimes we squeeze the soap in the bath so hard, it shoots straight out of our hands. Whereas, like, if you're a little more gentle with it, things sort of flow a lot easier. So ease up on your perceived pressure internally and take your time. And it doesn't matter, because, what is it? The words of the great prophet Led Zeppelin, isn't it? There may be two paths you can go by, but you can always change the road you're on.
All right, this is for Sean Michael.
Hello, Sean Michael.
Empress.
Oh, say no more. Say no more.
I think it's a time of nurturing self, right? I think this card kind of starts with foundation or basics, right? For example, if we wanted to have the best bread to eat, it would behoove us to start with the best flour. So I feel like you're in a place of collecting just the right ingredients to kind of take your recipe forward so that it can be the best that it can be. And sometimes it takes us a while to just figure out how to nurture ourselves.
That's some really nice people saying some really nice things. Grist to the mill and all that fine stuff. She definitely, you can tell by the amount of Venus energy on this card that she really does sort of walk in beauty and wants to, to work with the finer things, to bring about a beautiful thing. And yes, to make the very, very best bread, you need the very, very best wheat, the very best flour. And it's how that's been grown, What is the intention in that? How... It's like when and I know this is one you've got coming up, is this like your magical herbalism class?
Yeah.
We talk about growing something for the purpose of what it is. So, herbal familiars are grown and raised from seed with a specific intent and a specific purpose, and they're nurtured and loved and all that thing. And it's all about this, and nurture and love will bring good things forwards, and it really is, you know, take your time, do it well, and it will turn out absolutely beautifully. That is what I
And
would suggest.
if you bake something and you don't like how it came out, you can go check the recipe again. So, you know, it's not about worrying about being right or wrong. It's worrying about making your life easier or better.
The intent,
How can you nurture yourself for the better?
The intent of nurture. Yes.
Misty.
Misty.
And yes, thank you for the kind words.
Oh, yeah, that's
we're
ridiculous.
just hokey tour guides, you know. But like-minded people tend to find each other. It's a really nice space.
Oh, we love it that we're so privileged that we've been given
So many
this
people have
space
found
to work with.
soul buddies that they've taken a Reiki class or Craft of the Wise class, and they've just remained friends for years afterwards.
Still are.
All right,
Friends
this
for life.
is for Misty. Ooh, Misty.
The world. I see it now. Listen, guys, I'm just going to interject. I'm looking at a number of people viewing us and the number of likes. They don't match. You know what you need to do here?
Please,
Match
please,
that like
please
button.
help us.
Do it now. Do it now.
All right.
Break on.
And again, I'll remind you that if you can't be a member or you don't have any funds, you can help us by playing our station even with the sound off, right? So if you just put our YouTube station on and let it play through with the sound off, you're helping us get watch hours and a few pennies. All right, Misty.
Misty has been a channel member for 3 months. It's just come up and said that. So
Awesome,
congratulations.
congratulations. All right, Misty, the door is opening, right? So I think that these next 3 or 4 weeks with Mercury retrograde and you know, all the stuff that's going on that we talked about, you may feel like you've got the door open and you're standing on the threshold, but you don't quite have the energy or tools you need to step through. So I'm going to say take these next few weeks for preparation, right? For learning, like we were saying. What's the forecast? What should I take with me? How should I make the journey? And I feel like that big shift or that big change that you want to make is absolutely going to happen. And I think you have about 3 or 4 weeks to start that movement. I don't know why. Are you Cancerian, Misty? Because I feel like there's something like a little extra boost of energy for you if you are. Maybe you're just a good giver.
I'd have to look. I don't know. I can't remember. You know everybody's star sign.
No, I don't remember.
Usually using that. Well, I don't think we've met Misty, have we?
Oh, maybe not. So
No,
I haven't looked upon her.
She's she's a far. She's a far. She's not
Okay.
local, I think.
A local shop.
Not
for
a local shop
people.
for local people. That's it. We'd like to be less local, and you can
We'd
help.
like to be a little more well known. Tell your friends.
Tell your friends, yes. So I love this card. This, if you will, is the culmination of the Fool's journey. But you know, in the words of that wonderful group Delamitri, I think it was, the needles returns.
All musical today.
All musical today, yes. The needle returns to the start of the song, and we all sing along as before. So, but it's a spiral. So what you've learned in this last term,
You can take with you.
You now have got that wealth of experience, and this really is. You notice this enlightened being has basically harmonized those two opposing pillars. That you know, the severity and mercy, the dark and the light. They've harmonized those energies. They aren't necessarily smack in the middle. They never are. They shift, you know. Things move about, you know, much like the sun on the ecliptic. Things move about, and necessarily so. It's never straight down the middle, you know. Sometimes it is, but it's never always straight down the middle. So learning to do what's necessary when necessary is a really good way, and you've learned. So take that wisdom that you have and apply it as you move forwards into the next phase of your life.
Right. Because all this stuff that's happening in Capricorn is opposing Cancer, promoting compromise. So I feel like this solstice time is a big deal for Cancerians as well. And she's saying Cancer's strong in her chart. So, yeah. All right.
Yes.
All good stuff. Gonna pull card of the week, but we already kind of have our forecast. We know that the ship is slowing down to change direction. We know that we're not going to get frustrated. We're going to find an alternate route, right? We know that the forecast calls for rain. So we're going to wear our rain gear and we're not going to get caught in the flood. We're going to take the high road so we stay dry, okay?
Turn around, don't drown.
Turn around, don't drown. But I'm still going to pull a card.
That's it.
Card of the week, the Chariot.
Speaking of cars and driving.
All right. No, it's interesting because Shawn Michael had said, this shop is like the Chariot. Stuff comes in and stuff goes out. And it really is funny because sometimes, people say, well, do you have such and so? I'm like, yeah, it's right over here. Never mind, it's gone. So I think that this is how this week is going to feel. Never mind, it's gone. So I think before we can really catch our breath, we're going to be back here on Monday talking about the new moon.
I don't know. Things are slowing up as we move to the solstice, but things are getting faster. Today, I don't know how we're going to squeeze in everything we've got to squeeze in today, and we've got a lot to squeeze in today.
It's going to happen because we're made of the good stuff, right? We had a conversation with ourselves the other day, and we said, look, we need to be the super bunnies again. We need to
summon the super
be
bunnies.
The Energizer bunnies and get things done. And I think this is what the Chariot's saying. You're in that space where you're not really going forward, you're not really going backward. You're in that liminal space.
There is a true liminality to this card, yeah, absolutely.
So stay focused and persevere and do what you have to do. And I think the most important thing is to stay positive.
Yep, remember energy follows thought. And check your thinking. If you're getting yourself in a funk, if you're getting yourself into, oh God, I can't.
Don't wallow.
This is terrible. Why is everything so hard? Try a different narrative. Try speaking a different narrative. Put your focus into something that's inherently positive and that you can see good. And when you start to look for good starts to appear. Right. And then it gets easier. It's less of a grind.
Negative energy, this is our card of the week. Negative energy has the ability to multiply so much faster than positive energy. Right? So if we start getting in a downer, it's going to multiply and sit on us. We need to start moving. We need to be positive. We need to hold on what we know and what our truth is. This is going to be a big week, people. Big week. Take your vitamins. Keep your energy up. Stay calm, stay focused, and don't give in to the gremlins, We have so much wonderful opportunity and so many great things that we want to get on with. Don't let the idiots stop you, nor turn you aside.
Keep pure your highest ideal. Strive ever toward it, as the saying goes. So again, there's a lot of oppositions in this card and a lot of liminality, and it really is. Oppositions suck. They're difficult. You want to move forwards and there's something blocking you. But that resolution of opposition, just like Caradwin's hands, this manifestation, this resolution of opposition, this is where it all comes from. This is where the opposing things produce something greater than the sum of its parts.
And this is kind of the answer to your question. He's saying if Chariot represents a sign of Cancer, how does that happen? Well, again, it's all the Cancer is receiving all these oppositions, right? All the things that are in Capricorn are opposing Cancer. Well, you'd have to look at the degree to see how it's affecting your chart in particular. But it's an interesting time, and I think we need to continue to learn our lessons and nurture ourselves. Yeah, and that's a big point for this week.
That really is. And remember, everybody's got a story you know nothing about. So don't
We
subscribe
didn't get
to
the judgment card, so don't think you have to do that.
yeah, don't subscribe to the drama. Maintain a positive demeanour in the face of ridiculous adversity, and keep your head on, and you'll do all right.
Yep.
We'll get through this week, as you say. We'll be here in a week's time, and it'll have boom gone just like that. So, and on that note, we better ourselves
gone, 1 o'clock.
gone. Get on with
Peace.
it. Thank you so
Great
much.
blessings.
Smash that like button. Share this all over the place.
Have
Tell
a
your friends.
fantastic week.
All right.
And we'll see you next Monday.
Surely will.
Bye.
Bye for now. We are at 31 views.